Everybody, what's up, everybody? Welcome to All Three Garage. Welcome to All Three Garage. If y'all tune in, I hope y'all consider subscribing, like the video, share with your friends, family, or whoever. On today, we're gonna be talking about Ford. Yes, Ford, but we're gonna be going backwards. On today, Ford, they're gonna be canceling 1,000 jobs, 1,000 jobs, due to the low demand for electric vehicles. We all know EV vehicles are not that fascinating. To how they out to be. So a lot of people are very questionable when it comes to EVs. Like, dang, is it really worth it? Depending on the manufacturer, is it really worth it to get that EV vehicle? Mind you, we are talking about Ford. So you think somebody gonna wake up one day, drink their coffee, eat them a nice bagel, and be like, I'm gonna go out and get an EV today. And guess what? I'm going to the Ford dealership. No. Nah. First thing in mind, I'm in America. They're gonna more likely get a Tesla or something equivalent. But Ford, man, this is in Europe, by the way, Germany and all that. And they not doing too hot. EVs in general is not doing too hot. Look at Stellantis with the Dodge Charger and all that. A lot of people wasn't happy about how they turned that into an EV. Now they trying to go back to putting a power plant in the thing, which should have been the first thing from the get-go. But, they want to follow what's going on. And same with Ford and GM. I feel like they came in the game super late when it comes to these electric vehicles and all that. Mind y'all, people know y'all for y'all pickup trucks. Your big motors that y'all be putting in, the V8s, all that. The SUVs, yeah, like y'all known for that. But like for these EV spaces and stuff, it's very slim for them and all that. And it's very hard to sell to the consumers and all that. Especially if people already know you for who you are, and if you have like a bad rep with certain cars, people gonna be like, should I even get an EV from them? But that's just my 2 cents of thinking right now. But man, sales are at a low right now and stuff for EV vehicles, or cars in general. Like, anyway. One of the largest automakers in the world has announced they will be cutting 1,000 jobs from its workforce, due to the low sales and all that. This is happening at the collagen factory. So they slashing 1,000 jobs. So they had like 4,090 people, so that'd be 3,090 employees that would have after doing this. Now they're trying to recoup on the cost and all that, trying to save some money and all that. But usually when the demand ain't that high, the workload and all that is going to be pretty low. So if nothing ain't selling, which no cars ain't really selling and stuff, most of these cars stand on lots for a long period of time. And if you go to a dealer, you can get a car right now. Believe it or not, you get any car right now. Because they just going to try to give it to you and all that, so they get rid of the car and all that. In a statement, Ford said demand of electric vehicles remain well below the industry forecast in Europe and all that. In Europe and all that, depending on the brand, because this is Ford we're talking about. VW, they pretty good. BMW, they pretty good. But for Ford and all, yeah. So let me see if I want to continue reading this. Ford will offer voluntary redundancy packages to the workers affected by the decision to change shift patterns at the collagen plant. That's pretty cool and all that. On the lookout, because usually when plants and all that close down and stuff, you own your own and all that. So I'm not surprised by this news right here. I'm really not surprised. Working in the car world and all that could be weird, especially if you relying on it to take care of your family and stuff. And if anything happened, a big economic crisis, the car manufacturer going off the hill, and you rely on that, man, you are in trouble. Like, just I always think about Detroit and all that, how they had everything booming and all that over there, and then everything just went to like a sinkhole. I always go back to Detroit and all that. I made a video recently and all that, looking at Detroit and all that, but it's just that's just how it is and all that. It really is. So I'm not surprised. A lot of cuts and all that happen. It happens so the company can remain afloat and all that. Now, electric vehicles and all that, like I said, people want reliability, and they do want the support system of the EV vehicle. Mind y'all, we got a low infrastructure of charging stations, at least in my area and all that. We got a low infrastructure for it and all that. So for people that's in the rural area and stuff, you're not going to really see Teslas unless you really want a Tesla. If you're going to drive 50 miles out so just to get to a charging station, you could do that. But if you want to go way further out somewhere else, like, hey, are you going to have them charging stations and all that? Nah. But if you're in cities and all that, it's fine. I know California, Teslas and all that really pretty big out there, and I don't know if the power grid can really hold up too. Also, just thinking about that, like, electric vehicles on top. But anyway, let's look at some Ford electric vehicles. My favorite Ford electric vehicle is this bad boy right here. I seen this in person when I went to a Ford dealership. I was looking at some Fords. Looked at one of these. Looked at a Ford Raptor. We just, window shopping and all that, and looking like, would I ever consider getting one of these things right here? And Ford, not bad. I got a Ford work van and all that. They pretty cool and all that, so I can't sling them too much. But the Ford right here, when this thing came out, this thing was turning a lot of heads, believe it or not. And crazy thing about it, most of these have to go to a Tesla charging station. It's gonna cost more. At least you got a charger at home. If you got a charger at home, you good. But still, though, if you want to go out somewhere super far, you still gotta think about that on back of your head. And then reliability, like, dang, well, the cars are gonna hold up. They're not gonna break. Some cars they require like a software update in order to run and all that little stuff. So if you break down with an electric EV, you gotta get that thing towed. Compared to like a gasoline car, if your water pump go out, you can fix it on the spot. If you have a fuse or something blown that keep your car, you can figure it out and get it going if you need to. But gasoline vehicles is pretty worse too as EV vehicles. I've been seeing those recently and all that. I was trying to find this one particular. I was trying to look at the Ford Explorer. These Ford Explorers pretty hard. I ain't gonna lie, but this still like an electric vehicle, I believe. Cause they are doing I believe that power plant, if I ain't mistaken, Collagen. This power plant right here, they do the Ford Explorers and the Capri electric vehicles there also. So this is like a Ford Explorer. Anyway, let's go to Journey. Let's look at the best selling. So the best one is going to be Volkswagen, BMW, Tesla, Mercedes, and Skoda. I never heard this brand before. I might have to look into that. But of course, it's going to be Volkswagen because it's more trustworthy over there. Mind y'all, they do the Bugattis and all that. Volkswagen do Audis, so they're gonna be a little more trustworthy, especially over there in Germany. Especially if they base from Germany and all that, they're gonna be more trustworthy and all that. Especially for BMW also, and then for Tesla to be number 3, that's pretty cool. I mean, Teslas are pretty popular and stuff. We all know that. So they're gonna be up there. Mercedes, same way. But where is Ford? They is all the way down here, right here. 5. God dang. And then Porsche, I think Porsche only do the Taycan, so they not really. I don't think Porsche got a big assortment of electric vehicles and all that, if I ain't mistaken. But Ford is all the way down here, which I'm not surprised. And we got all these other car manufacturers. We got Hyundai that's above Ford. 2025. Can we open up this year? Okay, 2025. Let's look at 2025. Can I look at 2025? Nah. Yeah. But anyway, guys, it's gonna be pretty much it. I wanted to talk about that. I'm not surprised about the situation. I think it's a sad situation though, for the people who getting cut. But a little lady gonna be getting like some package or whatever to help them. And yeah, for this to be in Germany, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not really surprised. And like I said, it depends on the car manufacturer and all that. Like, depending, like, dang, does that car manufacturer got a good name for itself? I mean, depends. A lot of factors and all that could play into this. Anyway, y'all let me know y'all thoughts down below. I'm just giving my 2 cent, not digging too deep in it, but I seen it. I thought, hey, let me talk about this. Anyway, gonna be pretty much it. So if y'all made it as far as y'all consider subscribing, like the video, share with your friends, family, or whoever. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts down below. Honestly, EVs are in a weird space. Rather Ford, Tesla is still in a weird space. A lot of people is backing away from it. A lot of people going towards it. But the cars ain't selling. Not really selling in general. Like I said, anybody could get a car anywhere right now, because they're gonna just end up giving it to you, because they trying to get it off the lot and all that. But EV vehicles, man, unless you in the city, you fine. But if you like in a rural area, I mean, you might have, but you gotta make sure you have that infrastructure, charging stations and all that. But if you got one home, that should be fine. But I mean, there's no demand. Nobody's not out here looking for it. People are so used to the gasoline vehicles and all that, so that's going to take time to change over and all that. And it's really going to take time. Anyway, guys, this is going to be pretty much it. I hope y'all enjoy yourself, and peace.